Give me a bite. Give me a bite. Give me a bite of that. Give me a bite of that. Give me a piece of that. Give me a piece of that. I love a piece of that. Bite-sized Thursday.
Welcome, one and all. Welcome to Side Bite Side, a production of Bite Size Thursdays, a production of All Slate Media. How about that mouthful of an intro? Where we'd like to talk about two very similar shows. Either one is a reboot, a offshoot, any of the remakes, whatever.
Or a reshoot.
Reshoot. There we go. We got them all covered now. And this week we're comparing Girl Meets World to Boy Meets World. We're all in this world together, and we're gonna...
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Oh, neither of you know that, do they?
Meets
No.
World.
Boy Meet... No, it's literally when there's Boy Meets World, Boy Meets World.
What's that?
That's how the theme song goes.
Oh!
Boy Meets
How
World.
many people wrote that? 7?
But we're doing the 20... You said 2014 is when this came out?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
So
Over.
a whopping 21 years after the first episode of Boy Meets World aired.
Wow.
And you said the show
That-
ended in like 02 or 03, so about a decade after it ended.
That is insane. I know it's a lot. So this is coming from somebody who, again, similar to Boy Meets World, never seen it. Well, I've never seen an episode of Girl Meets World. I know what it's supposed to be about, but
I
never
have
seen it.
I have seen this whole
Oh, the whole thing?
thing.
7 times, too.
Really?
Yeah, he watches it every night before bed.
No, that's Smallville. Get it right. Pay the price.
Then that would take you years to watch.
No, I just watch them all. Gotta watch them all. Gotta watch them all.
All right,
Watch them. Gotta watch them all.
All right, Pokemon.
Pokemon!
But I'm excited to get into this. Is there anything you guys want to enlighten me about this show before? Wait, Jared, have you seen it?
I've seen this episode. It's
You
the
have.
only episode of the show I watched, and I watched it literally like the week it aired.
Really?
My cousin watched it because my
Wait.
cousin is a couple years older than Jake, and he loves Boy Meets World, or at least grew up on it. So he watched that first episode, and he's like, "This is weird. I like it, but this is weird."
Didn't it drop on
that's
Hulu?
how it feels the first season. I like it, but this is familiar and hits the right notes, but this is weird.
Is it kind of like the thing where it's kind of like hard to recapture the magic in there? No?
It's just at a certain, like I said last week, at a certain point, you realize you're watching a show about a 12-year-old girl.
Fair enough.
Kind of like with the Planet of the Apes reboots. At a certain point, you realize you're just watching a CG monkey.
But those are great, and I love those monkeys.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, but don't make him laugh. I'm trying to make a point because I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan.
I love the
And
Planet
he's
of
over here going, "You're just watching a CGI monkey."
Yes,
His
I
name
am.
is Andy Serkis. you jerk.
And Andy Serkis is a great monkey.
No, you just like the Tim Burton one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Monkey
Anyway, Girl Meets
monkey
World.
foreplay.
Monkey foreplay?
That's in that Burton.
Paul
Planet of the Apes.
Giamatti monkey?
No, different monkeys.
I tried to erase that from my mind.
Oh,
We
Wait,
just
Paul
kind of brought it
Giamatti's
back.
an orangutan, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, talks the same. Just I don't think I can do how he's doing his voice with all the way. How about orangutan?
Oh, God.
Anyway, Girl Meets World. Let's talk about that.
All right. I'm ready. Do you guys have anything you
I'm
want to
ready
mention
to
about the
jump
episode
in.
before we just jump right in?
I don't have anything else to say.
All right.
Jake.
All right, so let's watch this and stay tuned after a quick edit before we get back and watch this. So, without any further ado,
Take a bite.
and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just watched Girl Meets World, and what the farkle was that?
Who names their kid Farkle?
I'm
It's,
gonna
hello, please bully me.
I'm gonna be real honest. I can see the heart. I can see the silver lining.
The fun is gone.
There are good sprinklings. There's it's a good like little top of it. A lot of it was cringy to me.
See,
Yes.
Boy Meets World was baked in one of those nice fancy gourmet ovens. And it's
Just-
mostly cake with a little bit of icing. This was made in an easy bake oven. It's mostly frosting.
Well put, Jared.
That's fair.
Well put.
I will say that it does settle. I watched the whole thing. It does settle in on itself, and it becomes good because they bring the heart out more when the like.
Just admit it. It's just because they bring in all the other characters from the old show.
I don't think so, because it's good without those characters too.
Oh, good.
It just for some reason the first handful of episodes are like, ugh.
This really felt like Fuller House to me. Like they were.
I
Not
don't
as
get
pandering,
that.
though.
I don't get that
Well,
because
but-
it's not trying to be the same show.
I will actually, yeah. Allow me to say that as somebody who has not watched all of Boy Meets World, obviously, the reason I say it felt like Fuller House is because it feels like they really went out of their way to try to make something sound ridiculous or funny, when to me, I didn't think it was. And I thought that's what they did a lot in Fuller House. But, like I was saying before, when they were legit talking about, the main character was Riley, right? Riley making it her own world and finding out who she really is, I liked that. I could see how you could turn that into a good show. I just thought that the humor was really, really cringeworthy. It's like Disney Channel right after I stopped watching it. Like all
That's
those.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Watching it back to back like this highlights just how different sitcoms are
That's true.
20 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know that that's a fault of the sitcom itself. I mean, humor has changed. How we see the world has changed. But watching the entire show, I will say that the heart is there. Like, there's always that cringy part. Because again, you're watching a show about a girl growing up as an adult man, and there's a disconnect there.
Right.
Number
Yeah.
one.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And but like you start to get to know the characters better, and like their motivations get a little more fleshed out. And yeah, there's the whole like Maya is the Sean of this show, and
Mhm.
you know, Riley is the Corey, and
I will say.
Farkle is the Minkus,
Mhm.
but he's a bigger part of it. And like even he like eventually settles down, and like they give him a reason to be there. That's
God,
not
everything
oh, which
with-
girl do I
And
choose?
everything
And
with
they
Farkle.
introduce his siblings. Fergus,
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Farkle is just Shrek's kid in the human world.
Obviously, yes.
I mean, he was wearing plaid pants.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
They were green, weren't they?
Oh my gosh!
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Shrek and Girl Meets World are in the same universe.
Confirmed.
But I will say, I mean, like, for me, it recaptures the heart of the first show enough for me to keep watching it.
That's fair.
Or at least on the first watch. I don't know that I'd go back and rewatch
I
it.
will say I don't agree with them making Corey the teacher. I liked having the third party like Mr. Feeney be a teacher. I
Is
think.
Feeny in it more?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
that's good because like I
Not like
like
regularly because I think he can barely walk right now. But
fair, but I feel like just having different viewpoints and opinions from the adults sounds like it could be more interesting rather than having everything come from Corey. I think, which
Well,
it
so-
really got a little bit from Topanga when she said, I love her joke about like, oh, you were raised 50%, right? like,
Half.
half of the
Oh,
show is her making fun of him.
all right, I'm down for that. I'm totally down for
Every-
that.
She never
sing-
did that in the other show, right?
No.
No?
She never did that. No.
Oh, really? I thought she did. Who made fun of him then?
I mean, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah,
She's not nearly as mean in Boy Meets World as she is here.
I like that though. I like her whips or quips against him. I thought those were really
Her
fun. Whips.
I bet Corey likes him too.
No,
You had to slip like that.
Jared,
that's a Freudian slip right there. Oh boy. Anyway, what did you think? Did you like it? Did you?
No. I I don't hate it. It's like, this is not made for me. I understand that. Once in a while, there was something kind of funny, and the rest was because I don't have the context. I just kind of like.
There are a lot of references in it that require that you would have watched the entirety of Boy Meets World.
Which is fair. That does make
very claustrophobic.
I could see that.
That is
Why?
a symptom of new sitcoms, though.
They feel.
Yeah.
Is it just because of how technology has progressed? We see things so much clearer so that it feels smaller? Is that it? Or is it actually
much
much
more
For me,
clearly
it
a
seemed
stage,
like
maybe?
the sets too. Like in the first one, they were like you're in the cafeteria. The classroom felt bigger. Their house felt bigger.
What aspect ratio is this?
This is 69.
That was wide? Yeah, because then the old shows are.
It's 4:3.
Yeah, maybe it's because it's not as.
Yeah, but
tall.
they're also in a different place. I think that
Maybe
they're
because it's
they're
in New York, makes it everything in New York is smaller. So maybe that's part of the reason why.
Excuse me, the How I Met Your Mother apartment is not smaller. You know
No, of course not.
You know how much money that apartment would cost her even back
Oh my
then.
God, so much money.
But then How I Met Your Father, that one.
No, they're in that apartment.
Oh,
in How I Met Your Father.
Really? They're in the same apartment?
At the end
Are
of
they really?
At the end of the first or second episode, they find that apartment. They're like, oh, the previous owners left these swords here.
Oh my, that makes me want to hate it. I never even seen a minute of it. That makes me hate it so much more.
I hate it, and I have
It's just
no
as
idea what's
cringy
going
as
on.
this.
Oh.
It's just as cringy as this.
Oh no.
We have to do that as side by side now.
We probably really should. As much as I don't want to watch that, that would be interesting just to record. But
It's gonna make you cry. Not in a good way either. It's a little painful. I would say it's less painful than this was.
Well, that's good. That's good.
No, sorry, more painful than this was.
Oh,
I was wondering.
it's
why.
probably because I'm a little more closer with How I Met Your Mother is probably why.
And to be fair, the first time I watched this, it was more painful watching that first episode. But I stuck with it. It did get better.
I do think it's.
I think it ended prematurely because Disney has its whole 60 episodes thing.
That's fair. I do think it's interesting how
60 episodes. They just got rid of the 0.
they got. Oh
Not
my
just six.
God! It all
That's
makes sense.
It's the rule of 6.
Disney is run by the devil. Confirmed.
I mean, this was when they bought Star Wars.
Oh my God! Everything is connected now.
Execute Order 66. Kill all shows that are good and replace them with the terrible ones.
So you mentioned something, and I want to bring that up because I think it's really interesting. How obviously this is Girl Meets World, so it wants people that watch Boy Meets World to watch their show, right? They want that older audience.
They kind of need it because who else is going to watch it?
Well, and at the same time, I feel like all the humor in this is made for the younger generation.
So that's why it stunk.
I'm
just kidding.
I'm just saying that's throwing me off.
It's fairly unbalanced because the humor that comes out of Riley and Maya and the kids is fairly younger.
Yes, because you have to, when that's your main character, you have to relate to kids nowadays. That's just how it works.
But the humor that comes out of the adults and everybody that comes back from the old show, and that's definitely Boy Meets World.
It is. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it intersects. Like you can see a little bit of how they're trying to make them like Corey and Sean, but it's just not.
Yeah, and I'm not.
I swear it's because they switched it up and because they're girls, and that's not anything against having girls be your protagonist. It's just.
It's not its own thing. They're trying to do the same.
They're trying to do the thing, but for a different gender of people, and that's inherently different.
Yeah, I mean, and the only other thing for me, and granted, so wait, this probably is supposed to take place in 2014, right? I'm guessing. Given that's when it actually came out.
Yeah.
That's recent enough. I feel like you wouldn't let 2 teenage girls ride the subway by themselves. But maybe that's just me.
But what do we know? We don't live in New York.
I know, but
that's fair. We don't live in New York.
I don't. I
also, it's
that.
very dangerous to open subway doors like that. I do know that.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, that feels like a very dangerous thing to do.
I also don't think that you could because I think they're magnetized.
That's the other thing I thought. You like once it's closed, you ain't opening it back up. But I guess that's a little nitpick.
Keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
But plot points.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like at that point it's kind of just nitpicking.
Symbolism.
Oh,
The doors on their friendship closed. And she ripped them back open with all her might.
wow.
That's metaphoric, man.
I mean, the doors were probably steel.
That's so metaphorical.
Wow.
I don't know.
Such wise words. Wise words.
You're a sage. You just went like a,
I have no
I
clue.
don't know.
I just watched it.
Okay. What, anything else you want to mention?
I don't got anything else. Jake, you got anything else?
He's still trying to remember the name of
That's
this
gonna bug
movie.
me.
While Jake is trying to remember this movie, Jared, where can the good people find us online?
Hey, I got something funny to say.
Oh,
you
Jesus.
I got something funny to say. Hold on. I saw it on our TikTok.
That was clever. That was. I'll give you that one. That was clever.
Yes, we're funny on TikTok.
Oh!
But you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram.
All
And
Slate
then-
Media. Just wanted to make it. Just throw it in there. Go ahead.
And you can also listen to us on Stitcher and the Evil Overlord Apple Podcasts and the Google Podcasts and the Spotify. And hey, like and subscribe on YouTube and ring our bell.
Ring our bell. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Side Bite Side, a production of Bite Sized, a production of Off Slate Media. Quite a mouthful. So until next time, stay tuned, and on every Thursdays, don't forget,
Take a bite.
Bite me off a piece of that. Bite-sized